Hello class and welcome to the Week 4 Individual Lab Work Assignment. Once you log into class, you'll need to click on the Lab Work link. You'll see the individual assignment is, consider this, your turn, Transportation Cost, Part 1, on Excel page 206 of your e-textbook. When we turn to our e-textbook to page 206, we see Transportation Cost, and you'll read through part 1 of the assignment. Here we see the beginning foundation in table 314 for the fuel cost analysis. Below that is the assumptions, and in table 315 we have formula A, which is for the fuel cost for 1 month, formula B, which is the fuel cost for 1 year, and formula C, which is the fuel cost for 3 years. To get started, I'll need to quickly determine the miles per gallon for 3 gasoline cars and the miles per gallon of 3 different hybrid cars. You can just jump online and grab those miles per gallon. I'll just go to Google, and in this case I'll just pick a car. And the first car, Ford Explorer. You can pick any vehicles you want, both gas and hybrid. I'll just take the highway. So here I see 28 is the miles per gallon. So if you were buying a Ford Explorer, you would be looking at getting 28 miles per gallon on the highway. So I would start my spreadsheet here by putting in my title, of course, Fuel Cost Analysis. And as always, we want to add some formatting. So here I'll format my cells. I want to merge them, and I'll increase my font size nicely, and maybe I'll put in some shading here to make that a little nicer and change the color. You know that drill of formatting your worksheets, and perhaps I want to center that, etc., etc. Below that, when I look at my textbook, I now need a column for vehicle, a column for miles per gallon, a column for fuel costs for 1 month, fuel costs for 1 year, and fuel costs for 3 years. So let's add in our columns. So here I'll have my vehicle, and then I will have my miles per gallon, and then I will have my fuel cost for 1 year, and you can see my text is overlapping. So I'm going to need to adjust my column width so that my entries and data fit very nicely. Here I'll have fuel cost for 1 year. This was actually for 1 month. And then I need fuel cost for 3 years. Again, I want to format my column width so that my information is displayed and fits nicely. And then I would run spell check, of course. So after you format all of your columns, again, you'll apply formatting here as well. I might pick here, I'll put in a heading style, etc. So now we begin with vehicle 1. I'm just going to say vehicle 1 is a Ford Explorer. And my miles per gallon that I looked up is 28. Now to determine the function, fuel cost for 1 month. In our e-textbook, fuel cost for 1 month, we're using formula A. Formula A is right here. I start with the equal sign, followed by distance per month, miles per gallon, and price of gas. Before I do that though, I need to put in my assumptions. So let me come down here. I'll start here with my assumptions. And for my assumptions, I have distance per month, and I have price of gas. Again, I'll do formatting. You know the drill on that and how to format and make your tables, charts, all nice looking. So you'll format all of that. The distance per month, I know it says 400 here, but when you read the actual scenario, we're assuming that in a typical month, you're driving 1,200 miles. So I'll put in $1,200. The price of gas, I just happen to know in my area, is $2.80 per gallon. You may need to look that information up. So for my first function, looking at the formula A in my e-textbook, just following that formula, start with the equal and the parentheses. The distance per month we see is here in B14. Divide it by, and I'm looking at formula A in my e-textbook, miles per gallon. The miles per gallon I looked up online, which is here in B3. I then have a closed parentheses and an asterisk because I'm multiplying the price of gas. The price of gas I put here in B15. I can now enter that. So that is my first function, as you see here in the functions bar, for 1 month. Now to look at 1 year. When I look at 1 year, I'm now looking at formula B. I just am following how this formula is outlined here. So I begin my function with the equal sign, 2 open parentheses, and the distance per month I put in B14. Divided by miles per gallon, which is here in B3. I can close my parentheses, and I'm multiplying that just as we did before by the price of gas, which I put here in B15. After that, I can close my parentheses, and I'm multiplying by 12 because there are 12 months in a year. I can enter that, and my function is there for me. Fuel cost for 3 years, I'm going to do exactly the same, and I'm following formula C in my e-textbook. Again, I start with the equal sign with my open parentheses. Distance per month is from my assumptions table in B14, and I'm looking to divide that by the miles per gallon, which I looked up and placed here in B3. I can close my parentheses. I'm multiplying that by the price of gas, which I looked up and put that value here in B15. Close my parentheses, and now I'm multiplying, as we see in formula C, by 36. Why 36? Because there are 36 months in 3 years. 12 months in 1 year, 12 times 3 is 36. That's where that comes from. Enter my formula, and there's my value. I want to make sure that I remember that I format all of my cells, and I want to format them to make sure that they display, in this case, as currency. Now I simply move on to my next vehicle. And all I need to do is pick a vehicle, any vehicle that you want. Let's say I'm picking a Durango. And I'll jump online and I'll find out, what does a Durango get miles per gallon? You don't have to use a Durango. You can pick a Honda, Civic. You can pick any vehicles you want. So maybe I'll say a Durango gets 25 miles per gallon. Again, I'm going to use the same function, but now I'm looking at miles per gallon in column B4. So I start my function looking at formula A, the distance per month, and then I divide that by the miles per gallon. Miles per gallon we said was here in B4. Close my parentheses and multiply it by the price of gas, which I looked up earlier. And once I do that, I can enter my cell, and there's my formula. I'll continue with this functions throughout. Again, equals my parentheses, distance per month divided by the miles per gallon multiplied by the price of gas, and parentheses, by 12 months. Enter my function. Don't forget to format your cells for the right cell formatting. Continue on. This function will be the same for fuel costs for 3 years. However, we will be dividing that by, or multiplying that by 36. Continue that for your 6 vehicles. So you'll have then Another vehicle, let's just say that you have a Honda Civic. You'll look up the gas mileage. Maybe you have a Ford Fusion. Maybe you have a Charger hybrid, etc. And then you'll need one more vehicle, which maybe it's a whatever. Look up a hybrid vehicle. So here's my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cars. I have 3 hybrids. I have 3 gasoline cars. I need to look up the miles per gallon on each one of these. So I'll go online and I'll look up what the gas mileage is. And once I look up that gas mileage, now I just follow the formulas here in my e-textbook. So here's the function as an example that I put in for 1 month. Here's an example of the function for 1 year, and here's an example of the function for 3 years. Just follow these formulas through. I look forward to seeing some completed Week 4 individual assignments.